ensure that if anyone's inside, they'll meet a swift and horrible demise.
Look, Summer's in the episode now. Please keep me on the show.
Somehow, Mitch and Eyebrows are able to wordlessly signal to each other to dangle off the edge. I can't say I've ever been in this situation, but this seems like a liability lawsuit waiting to happen. Whee! At this point, the helicopter lands and they say they have a harness, so presumably Mitch can put that on, they can hold the other end, and he scales the cliff edge to the door to get Jackie out. In fact, the door's close enough he wouldn't even need to go all the way over. But instead, this happens.
Pretty cool, huh, folks? I saved Jackie. I get the cafe now.
What?
Never mind, I'll give it to my wife.
So do we know each other?
Hobie suddenly remembers...
Hey, Neo Geo, what is up? How are you doing?
And helps Caroline rescue him.
Oh, let's see. What's good? I don't know.
You learned a lesson about pride today.
Allison's Baywatching. That's good.
10 years of slow-motion diving footage
That's a good
later,
thing.
Stephanie and company have freed a geologist's
boy.
boyfriend from his watery tomb. Precisely no one was worried if he survived or not. Meanwhile, Hobie sculpted this elaborate sandcastle
I gotta learn to stop touching that camera.
Why? Hobie whines dramatically about how much he's afraid of earthquakes now and begs Mitch to pack up their bags and move. This calls for a heartbreaking, emotional explosion.
Yeah, well, they were almost killed, were they?
You punched that
All right, Hobie, you
sandcastle,
fucking
Hobie.
trash
Punch
that
it with all
sandcastle.
your heart. After that,
That's
Hobie
right.
asks to go live with his...
Hey, Alexi, Kira, what's up? Just flying solo. That's oh, you start film school next week. Good job. Good job. That is awesome. Do 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 do. Hey, Stacy, what is up? You're anxious as fuck? Nah, good. It's good. It means something to you. Depressed about the world? Well, that's easy to be. I mean, it's a depressing place. Oh. Bad things are happening. Hey, Jay Tilton from Bangkok and Chrome. Oh, boy. Man, yeah, I've been gone a few days because I needed a break. It was getting like a little too depressive for some, you know? And I knew that, like, a fair degree of that was going to be unavoidable just because a world, you know? Yeah, despite the horrors, we persist. I was in a war zone combating homophobic discussion in the Christian school I work at. Oh, geez. But later I found my watch that I thought was lost that someone offered to let me pet their dog. Well, I can't imagine a Christian school is going to be a good place to be working right about now. Yeah. Oh, you got a 4-day weekend next week? Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Man, gotta tell you, I've been looking at, man, it's kind of crazy looking at all the pardons Trump is like giving people. I mean, it's just one of those, like, it's clearly like he just pardons whoever he happens to find out about on television that day. You know, which is kind of upsetting. Kind of upsetting. I don't really understand. I don't really understand, but, you know, whatever. Oh, flan. I can't eat flan. Well, I mean, I suppose I could have a little of it, but, like, you know, the whole diabetes thing. That was my favorite Nancy boy do. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. This is never going to stop. It's never going to stop. Never, ever going to stop. Yeah, getting kind of mental numb state about how I feel on the inside. Well, yeah. It's depression. Kira, that's depression, you know. Jump pardon this time. Oh, I forgot already. Just people. You know, just people like reality TV stars who abuse their kids, you know, things like that. Found out someone on Mr. Beast that worked for Mr. Beast was pedophile. That was fun. I mean, I definitely found myself going like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't trust people who make children's content. I'm gonna be honest. We're all looking for that next Mr. Rogers, but he was 1 in a billion, man. Like, it's Queen's birthday. Fuck the Queen. Fuck the Queen. Is it the Thai Queen or the British Queen? I don't know if there is a Thai Queen. What about the next Mr. T? Oh, see, that ain't never gonna happen. Well, the thing about Mr. Rogers is that, well, I mean, being a minister puts you in the category, in my mind, of being a pedophile. You know, the fact that Mr. Rogers seems not to have been, I think, is amazing. Oh, the Thai Queen. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what she's like. She could be a B. She could be perfectly fine. But down with monarchy just on basic principle. And Mr. Rogers was a different kind of person. As far as I know, he was the real deal. You know? It's one of the reasons I think you ought to do don't do something you hate and don't put on an act and pretend that it's real. You know, because you don't really get nowhere. You always end up in like some sort of awful position where I don't know where I I was going with that. I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind. It left my fucking brain. Left my fucking brain. Because, like, I wonder if that guy keeps bringing up Juario is going to fucking be here today. I kind of hope not, because I don't like seeing him. Because it's just one of those, like, oh, fuck you. You know, like, just fuck you. You know, come on, man. You know, I hope all the bad things in life happen to him and nobody else. Yeah. Oh well. Things happen, man. Things happen. Oh yeah, he showed up more than once. I've had to play whack-a-mole with him a few times. I just didn't call attention to it. No, I didn't want him getting no attention. So hell with him. Huh. Hey Jack, you might more play a game. I don't know. Like, the problem is whenever I play games on stream, A, my computer struggles. And even, and B, viewership goes down. Not too many people want to come, not as many people want to be here to watch me play video games, and I can't blame them. Because it's not really a type of content that I enjoy either. Like, whenever someone, if I'm on a stream, I'm on there for the personality, for the person. And if they're playing games, yeah, cool, whatever. But, like, I'm not paying attention to what they're doing on the screen. And when I play video games, I tend to get quiet. I tend to concentrate. So it's not quite as, it ain't going to be as good as you think. Hey, Jack, what's up? Oh, bunch of things, not the least of which is just me being here. Got kind of a headache. Trying to think about what I want to talk, something that we could talk about that's not like too fucking awful. Believe it or not, when you'd stream games, that's when I started to talk to people in the Slut Pit. Yeah. And but I mean, like, literally the number of people who are watching, like, goes down. And that's one of those, like, plus I'm not real into playing games on stream. I'm okay with it, but I don't, like, really care. So I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good value. I don't think that's good entertainment. Have I seen Murderbot yet? I've not. Caterham says, yeah, I'm not into watching someone stream play a game either, unless it's a game you're interested in. Yeah, exactly. And I bounce around games a lot. I bounce around games a lot. Sometimes I only really want to play them for like 15, 20 minutes at a time. Sometimes I want to, oh, God damn it. California will now give consolation spots to cisgender girls and finals who lose to trans girls. Oh. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. Nobody cares about women's sports anyway, I guess. You know, I don't care about sports at all. You know, I'm just sort of like, yay, he could throw a ball farther than somebody. I don't care. You know. Hello, doggy. Hey, do you want to get up here? Oh, 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 it's a dog. It's a dog. It's a dog. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, you heard me. Apparently, they're going to give consolation spots to women who, like, lose to trans athletes. I guess that's something. I don't know. It sounds dumb to me. But I think it's part of that whole, like, oh, man, people really care about the trans issue. I guess we really got to be anti-trans now. We're Democrats. Meh. I've, like, absolutely... I've lost all faith in the Democratic Party. Just all of it. You know, it's one of those, like, yeah, well, I guess... I mean, I guess I'm not gonna have to worry about voting in the near future, and I have to like, yeah. So basically, they're essentially giving out participation trophies, you know, or consolation trophies. This the answer is technically not, but let's not pretend that that's not how it feels. Like, that's just one of those, like, oh, fuck you, and your whole women's sports bullshit. Oh, fuck you. You know, just... I give up. Like, I give up. I do, I really do. I give up with mainstream society. I've just absolutely given up. You know, I'll tell you one thing though. That fucking... Every generation suffers with the failures of the previous one. And one of, to me, the great failures of the millennial generation, great failure, was the way that it handled feminism. I think that the way, particularly online, the way that it was handled by millennials online was awful. You know, and I'm talking about the people who were for it. Wasn't handled well. You know, it was handled very badly. You know, which is really, really too bad. Like, one of the things that was really, really driving me up the wall was I was hearing a lot of 70s feminism come back into the conversation. And I'm like, I thought we handled this, you know, because I was young enough to think that once a fucking thing is handled, it's handled. Nope, wrong. It ain't handled. You know, I thought the whole, like, debate about prostitution had been handled. I thought we agreed that it was an individual that was a personal matter, and that the best way forward was decriminalization, so that the protections of the state could be extended to vulnerable people. I thought that was the decision. Turns out no. There were enough feminists who were like, prostitution is bad in all situations, blah, blah, blah. My favorite term that was used during that period of time was self-objectification. And I was like, you mean dressing up? If you are calling dressing up self-objectification, you have lost the plot. You have lost the plot. And feminism's always been very turfy. It's always had a huge turf contingent. Huge virulent one. Another thing I thought we had handled. I thought that we had fucking come to the decision that that's just not acceptable. You know, the trans-exclusionary radical feminism was not acceptable. Like, one of the things that you got to understand is that the phrase TERF, that ain't new. That's been around for decades. That's been around since the 90s, at least. Because people knew about them. People knew about them. And feminism and lesbian culture had been dealing with that issue for as long as I can remember. For absolutely as long as I can remember. In fact, one of the things I thought was really funny is that everyone was like, what happened to the lesbian spaces? And it was one of those things where I was like, well, I'm not a lesbian, but given what I have observed from the outside, it decayed from within. It decayed from within due to all of its internecine inconsistencies, all of its inconsistencies. You know, were trans women allowed in lesbian spaces? That was a huge argument. It was a gigantic argument. It was a virulent argument to the point where, like, all these things about, like, checking people's gender and all that shit, that came from lesbian spaces. That's where I first heard of that crap. That's where I first encountered it. And I was like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't do that. You can't do that. Well, we need to feel safe. How safe do you need to feel? It's already wrong for someone to assault you in a bathroom. How safe do you need to feel? Well, we can't have men around. That you don't live in that world. That's just like guys saying that they don't want to be around women. Good luck. Good fucking luck. You know, if these are your answers, then there are no solutions. If these are your questions, then we got no solutions. There are none. They can't exist. Your decision has to somehow include these people. Yeah, the trans issue was huge. The trans issue was huge, and it tore the lesbian community apart. It's completely tore it apart. It didn't get rid of lesbians, obviously. But the lesbian community that used to exist is pretty much evaporated. Over that issue. over whether or not trans women were men. That's what it did. That's what happened. And it was crazy. It was absolutely fucking crazy. And part of the reason they hated trans people were they thought they were men in disguise. But the other part was intellectual. There was an intellectual side to TERFism, which was saying that gender didn't exist, that it was purely a societal construct, which is something that just flies in the face of reality. You're like, well, wait a minute. Gender's not all societal. Plants have gender. Animals have gender. We are animals. We have gender. Most trans people I know are straight trans like me. They're into men. Yeah, but there are some trans men who are into women. Or sorry, trans women that are into women. Yeah. And there's a huge exclusion. Well, the exclusion of the invisibility of trans men actually kind of helps illustrate the problem, doesn't it? This isn't about whether or not a trans woman is a woman. It is about women's fear of men. In the world of feminism, that has to be dealt with. There has to be an answer. But the problem is, there kind of isn't. There kind of isn't an answer. And I'm not saying that there isn't an answer because they haven't come up with one. I'm saying that there kind of isn't an answer. And that's a problem. The best thing that could have been done is to discuss trans people within lesbian spaces to discuss them all basically purely in terms of sexual attraction. Not in terms of who's allowed to be a community member and who isn't, which is what the discussion was. Wait, plants have gender? Yeah, they do. Yeah, plants have gender. Some plants are some plants are hermaphroditic, but they have gender. For example, only male plants create the pollen that you're allergic to. Only female plants grow fruit. Yeah, plants have gender. Yeah. I forget what they all are. They have more recognized and categorized gender than people do. But it exists. You know? They reproduce sexually, just not in the way that we understand, not in the way that animals do. Yeah, it will generally take someone who is actually like educated in horticulture and plant biology to tell you how the genders function, but they exist. For plants, for plants they exist. So, and they for sure exist in animals. Question was never whether or not gender existed. The question was, what are they? What's the purpose of categorizing them? And how do we treat each other given that we are such a gendered society? For that matter, a lot of which can be a lot of these questions can be actually gotten rid of by agreeing that we should treat the genders more as closely to each other as possible. No, there should be as little difference as possible. And the rest being up to individual interpretation. One of the things I find very, 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 very frustrating about like conservatism is I kind of lost it. But like in the 90s, the answer was for at some point treating each other with a certain amount of, with a bare minimum of respect wasn't a good enough answer. When I found myself going like, well, but it's the best answer that anyone could come up with. It may not be perfect, but there is no perfect here. At bottom, every woman is a person, and every man is a person. They're people. And this applies for people that don't fit within the gender binary. No matter what I think about them, they're still people. It's like how I feel about like asexuality. I don't get it. I understand it, but they're still people. Oh, conservative sets a standard that's impossible for anyone to achieve. It's so impossible, you know, that the people who are fucking spreading that shit the loudest are liars. Liars. They are liars. You know this. It's obvious because no one can live up to those standards. It's ridiculous. They aren't even really ideals, which is the fucked up thing. You know, and I think honestly, people forget that at the end of the day, no matter how someone categorizes themselves or you do, they're still a person. I don't really understand why that's so hard. You know, I don't understand why acknowledging that people are people is so hard, why some people are not people. I'm like, no, they're people. You know, and then you get to the question of like, well, should we really judge people based on that? And it's like, well, it depends on what we're talking about. I can absolutely judge people based on shit. You know, I think pedophiles should be fucking locked up for the rest of their lives. That's judgment. But I still think they deserve to prove their innocence and not starve to death and not be left to die. Because what if you were wrong? What if they aren't? What if they're innocent? I have to take that risk. personally. Now, you catch someone hands in the proverbial cookie jar raping a kid, I'm not going to be mad if they're killed. I'm not going to be mad if they die. You know, I don't care about that. I don't know anything about Springtrap from Dead by Daylight, but that's a fictional character, so that's very different. Okay. Slight detour. I put out a skeet on Blue Sky the other day where I just said, for me, the most difficult part of game design is having the confidence to move forward. And a guy said, why? Fair question, except the guy's name is Corporate Game Dev. And so I'm like, how? Hey, I gotta respond to this. All right, my response was, so you aren't really a game dev. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking that question. I'm sorry, creative fucking doubt. That should be that's your fucking parasitic twin, baby. You gotta know it. Your self-doubt is your parasitic twin that you can't ever get rid of. You know? Now, that might be a little harsh, but like, you know, you're attached to it. That's gonna be your constant companion in the creative field. You can't fucking claim that you're in a creative field and tell me you don't understand why fucking having the confidence to move forward isn't your biggest challenge, or at least one of them. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I gotta be snide on that. You gotta remember Corporate Game Dev. What the fuck is this? Who are you? How to better steer the fucking AAA game market? Bullshit. Come on, you're asking that question and you're fucking giving advice. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. Oh my God. You wanted to prove to me that you knew something, you would have been like, yup. Yeah. You're always your worst enemy. Always. Ooh, I got a beep. Is that a response? Yeah. What beeped me? Blue Sky, Barthy Burgers, girls. I don't know why I get so annoyed when people like fucking put on airs. put on airs that they don't deserve, that they haven't earned. I don't know why it bugs me. Maybe it's because I don't feel like I've ever earned anything in my life. Probably something like that. But not like not earned as in things have been handed to me, but like not earned in that I've never been given the prize. You didn't hear my microwave? Nope, I didn't hear your microwave. Despite the fact that you don't have a microphone hooked up to anything related to the stream, I did not hear it. Girls, girls, girls. Is that a request? Hey, look, I said before, I say again, we need some sleazy nudity back up in the horror world. Hell, I think we need I think we need sleazy nudity in role playing games. I think they should have sleazy nudity on fucking YouTube. But not like. I mean, I understand YouTube not wanting to be porn. I mean, I get that part. And I mean, I guess we got the OnlyFans. That's kind of the Twitch nudity. Kinda, But I miss like that kind of indulgent sexuality that is Oh my God, he wrote back. Corporate game dev wrote back. I'm a professional game dev. That is why, regardless of what level of conviction I might have in design, it's by far the least difficult part. Executing the vision, rallying teammates and departments to your ideas, that's the much harder part. Oh my God. Hang on, everybody. Yeah, let's watch Jack fucking Arceus. I said, so you don't worry about leading your team right off a cliff, that you might be making something that never ships, that you're doing damage to the team? What games do you work on? Like, holy shit, like, getting people to execute on the creative vision is the hard part. Dude, you're trying to control the uncontrollable. You're trying to do you're doing the least, you're doing the dumbest part of the job. You're focusing on the dumbest part of the job. Like, they work on it too. You have to trust them to deliver. You guide them. You deal with them as people. I just like, I'm sure this guy's actually full of shit and he's nobody. You know, but if he actually is somebody, tell me what company he works for, because I do not want to deal with it. Oh my God. What kind of conversations are going to be having with this person? These stupid conversations. These stupid conversations. Why does the leader of a project need to get themselves right in the head as much as possible? Because their problems become the team's problems. And I don't just mean that in a direct way. Art, including video games, does not lie. A problem in a game reflects a problem with the lead. It's not always one-to-one, but a problem with a game reflects the problem that the lead has. And sometimes that problem that's why it's so easy for a lot of us to forgive didn't have a lot of resources. If that's your worst problem, you're probably okay, actually. You just didn't have the $1 million that you needed, but you still got something done in 100,000. Does it look as good as if it was? Is it as polished as it would be if you had the $1 million? No, of course not. Of course not. But if that's your big problem, just resources, you're probably a decent leader. Maybe a little inexperienced. You know, don't have the reputation to get the money. don't have the resources. That's an okay problem to have. Now it's a problem you want to conquer. I work in AAA. Executing the make it function on a high enough quality bar. That's the actual hard part. He says he works in AAA. I have ideas that get cut, ideas that underperform. I made the wrong. Huh. All right. We'll just cut right to it. Only the very junior of my colleagues that struggle with the confidence part. I worked in AAA too. No, well, I mean, not as a dev. Not as a dev. Like, I can't argue with him on that. I can't argue with him on that level, but I am very, very, very. I am skeptical that he is either. What's the most disappointing game you played in recent years? Oh, probably South of Midnight. That was disappointing. That of the year, maybe not years, but like of the year, like that got really repetitive, and I didn't like where the story was going. It looked like we were going to be doing one of those like Kumbaya, it's all about forgiveness kind of bullshit fucking stories, and I'm like, I'm sorry, weren't I on Bloodlines? No, I didn't work on Bloodlines. I worked at White Wolf Game Studio. I did work for White Wolf Game Studio. I did not work on Bloodlines. I worked on Time of Judgment. I worked on Exalted. Wow. Yeah, I'm far too bashful for that, but not too bashful to fucking give unsolicited advice. Yeah, I was just like, you're a middle manager that doesn't actually do anything useful. Aren't you slick? And what did I say? Nah, 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 nah. Try asking other devs. And okay, so I said I do talk to other devs regularly. That's why I know confidence is an issue. You are leading a team into the unknown, often with nothing but your own aesthetic desires. If that does not scare you, I do not know how you can even begin to manage a team properly. I have sad puppy eyes right now. Well, it's the idea that if a guy with this attitude is someone's lead, that's very sad. That's a team that succeeds despite its leader, which is not a good position to be in. It's not a good position to be in. Not in a creative field. You know? I mean, the idea that he could be a lead on something and something in the AAA game industry is not like completely unfathomable because, I mean, a lot of them fail. A lot of them fail. And I don't know. I always feel weird because I'm feeling weird because I'm like, do you not appreciate the precarious position you are in? Because I'm not hearing, no, I can't give in to that. You can't give in to that. That can send the team into chaos. I get an answer like that. I'm like, all right. Whoa. Regardless how scary it is, the conviction in your idea and any hesitation you might have in greenlighting the system are once again the easy part. You don't have to be officially lead for any of this. What do you think happens? You propose an idea and then production takes over? What? Okay, so what I said to the guy, so he's like, you know, what do you think happens? You propose an idea and then production takes over? My answer is yes. That's what happens. Production is responsible for implementing the elements of the game. That's their job. It's why we refer to them as production. They produce. He once again reiterates blah, 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 blah. You know, confidence in the idea is the easy part. It's like, and my response to that is, you don't work on anything personal to yourself, do you? Oh, man. I, I, I know I don't work at this shit at a high level, but like, come the fuck on. You said that in all caps? Partially. I'll say about that. What the hell? Ugh. Sorry, I don't know why, but I'm looking at a video of a dog having a bug taken out of his chin. I don't know why I did that. I got nothing. Were you blue collar game dev? Well, maybe indie. I don't know. Like, I understand. Like, if you're not worried about the effect your creative decisions is, you have to fight through them and go through with it anyway. But like, if that's not a big deal, I don't know what is. No, I think it was a bot fly, not a tick. Oh, god damn it. No, this guy's just about breaking me down. No, that's just what he's about. Fuck him. It's nothing to learn from that guy. And while I was pretty sure that was the case, it's always disappointing. You know, there's no response he had that wasn't also backhanded. You know, I don't appreciate people who communicate that way. I don't like doing passive aggression. I tend to do aggressive aggression. You know, because to me, passive aggression is always a lie. You know what? Let's listen to an oldie but goodie.
Ooh, a laser disc. The cheat's playing something on a laser disc. Everything's better on laser disc. Whatever happened to the laser disc? Laser disc.
Yeah.
Let's take the Greyhound bus to California. All that fancy food will make us hornier. Dancing through the night, driving us insane. Waltzing in a pool filled up with champagne. Dancing through the night, driving us insane. Waltzing in a pool filled up with champagne. Oh, if you're feeling blue, I'll paint the town red. I will serenade you standing on my head. Wild and crazy like Tyrannosaurus Rex. You and me will have never-ending sex. Wild and crazy like Tyrannosaurus Rex. You and me will have never-ending sex. Wow! Oh, California, be mine.
That's good stuff. I've been listening to a lot of the Red Elvises because I'm currently in a Scion game where I play the Russian son of the god of love, or the son of the Russian goddess of love. Jack, what are your pins between a shaman, a mage, a witch, and wizard? Not in the RPG sense. A shaman works on feeling, a mage works on intellect, and in my opinion, a witch is a form of shaman and a wizard is a form of mage, or vice versa. Yeah. That's what I would say is the difference. One is more concerned with feeling, the other is more concerned with intellect. You know, it's why and in my opinion, a sorcerer kind of sits between the two. So I consider myself a sorcerer. I also feel like a wizard is old. If you know what I mean? Like a mage is a young wizard. You know? Oh, God. Did I get another response? I did. Wow. Okay, this guy's just an asshole. Sorry, the dude who responded. Corporate game dev. Guy's just an asshole. Okay, I need to listen to this guy. Well, my great grandpa cursed a vegetable thief for sores. Where do witches? Witches are a form of shaman. You know, witchcraft is a version of shamanism. Let's see. Ugh. Thanks, Jack. That was a great answer. Yeah. No, to me, it's about the difference between feeling and intellect and the interaction between the two. Well, R. Ryle, are you Filipino? You know, I mean, I'm not asking if you got the giant fork and spoon, but like, you know, are you ethnically Filipino? You know, yes. Oh, well, then you've already got the hereditary connection. Don't worry about it too much. You know, you'll have the giant fork and spoon and have your own recipe for lumpia in no time. Born in Canada, that doesn't matter. Did you grow up in a Filipino community? Or like at least Asian, you know? Or at least like Southeast Asian, you know? My grandma had the giant fork and spoon, but she was from Hawaii. But was she Filipino? I still remember like tripping out a Filipino friend of mine where I was like, hey man, what's with the giant fork and spoon? He's like, what giant fork and spoon? I'm like, the giant fork and spoon that you always hang up in the Filipinos always hang up in the kitchen. And he was like, we don't always hang up a giant fucking fork and spoon in the kitchen. I'm like, motherfucker, yours is right there. Oh, Malaysia, Singapore. Oh no, but that's Tristan. Um, I was like, motherfucker, yours is right there. He had the greatest comeback. He's like, oh, that. Well, that's just to remind everybody that we Filipinos used to be giants. Of course, he's a short guy. You know? He was a short king, as they say. You know, well, I mean, he still is. He's still alive. You know, I just haven't laid eyes on him in like a couple of years. You know, but like I'm Chinese, so like I'm expected to give him a little bit of shit. You know, that's my half Chinese coming out. You know, giving the Filipino guy a little shit. Oh yeah. Rest of the world's got racism too. It does. It has. The difference between America and a lot of other places is in America, it's really, really culturally codified, like to this terrifying degree. You know, one of those things. They did it bigger in America. That's. What is it? Oh, oh, well, that blows. It wasn't a question of it was a good whether it was good. It was a question of how bad was it going to be. How what? Ah, what did they give Curry? Okay, I did. I noticed the cilantro actually did do something for it. I like it a lot, actually. a little worried because I wanted to put in mushroom in big chunks.
Go. Okay, I'll get that one. Right. Bread is not yet on top. That's no we're gonna put up.
True.
I want to just kind of want to do this.
Yeah.
Put my head down and have you start from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
You can see how dark it is up here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like here is not as dark actually.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, finish this paint.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, it sounds like. I'm gonna be honest. It sounds all right. It sounds like you got enough of a cultural heritage connection to pursue it. Whew. Yeah, there are a lot of Japanese, Chinese, and Filipinos in Hawaii. Yeah. Well, I mean, like. Now, the Philippines, I believe, are technically, what is it? Polynesian? They're part of the Pacific. They're part of that whole group, that whole grouping of ethnicities that includes like Hawaiian, and Samoan. Pacific Islander yeah, I think what it's called, Pacific Islander. You know, that's what we call it in the West. Man. Or it was Owly with a dark tan, who knows? Yeah. Yep. Not fucking know. Man, technically came from the indigenous peoples of Taiwan. Yeah. They're technically related as well. I'm part of that whole thing. Dark Asians, you know? Yeah, Pacific Islanders coined by Americans. Yeah. Tend to have darker skin, rounder eyes. Whereas you go up north, they get paler and have deeper epicanthic folds. The double eyelid. You know, it's more common. My friend just pointed out the Corporate Guy Blue Sky page. Oh, lordy. Oh, boy. I don't need to know anymore. I mean, he may even be like a AAA dev, but like I wouldn't want to work with him. That's a fucking. That is a very, 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 in my opinion, very shallow interpretation of what a game dev and a lead does. Speaking of witchcraft, just being shamanism, have you read North Star Road? I have not. Oh, and I'm not saying that witchcraft is just shamanism. It has its own thing, but shamanism is the big, broad one. Unless we're specifically talking about like the Siberian mystics, you know, where we get the word shaman. Filipinos physically look like they're from different parts of Asia. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. That's why it's a tendency. You know. But that's the thing. The closer to the tropics you get, skin gets darker, eyes get rounder. That's a human, that's a Homo sapien tendency too. You know, you go over a certain part of the north, eyes get really slanty. And it's because it helps, the epicanthic fold helps deal with the glare of the snow and ice. Oh, for that matter, you'll notice Russians also have that. Epicanthic folds are not entirely Asian only. You know, particularly when you get out to like Siberia and the steppe, where Asian and Eastern European people intermingled. It's why sometimes when you see a Russian guy, they look Asian. People from East India descent ask me, oh, so you're like real dark. But yeah, man, I can see that. Yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah. You probably got enough of a contingent. You probably have enough of a. Sorry, I was looking at Iwaz's thing, going, what? Yeah, you probably have enough of a connection to look into it. You know. You know, particularly if you feel a pull in that direction, I would go with it. You know, you can't culturally appropriate the culture you came from. You know, like, let's see. So what Iwa says was, and I quote, then I'll sit on the IP, and if anyone talks about them enough, I'll turn those IPs into microtransactions in my successful games. Oh my fucking God. I never had someone advocate to give me the ability, the more power and opportunity than Ross has. What the fuck? Okay. I can't eat. Yeah, I can't even with this. The fact that my great grandmother converted to Adventism. Colonizer religion. You can always go back. You can always go back and do right by the ancestors. Will they be mad at you for that? Ah. Let them figure that shit out. Let the spirits figure that out. If they are, they are. If they're not, they're not. You know? But in my experience, you could always go back to the ancestors. You can always reconnect with the ancestors. They're always happy to do that. Don't, but sometimes they can be dicks, It's demons. They're just your ancestors. Tell them to call back. They're being jerks. They're being dicks. Love that. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I hope it helps. How shamanism, North Star Road talks about how would recommend. Is it a book or a North Star Road? Is that a book or a channel? North Star Road, Shamanism, Witchcraft, and the Other World. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the Western culturalisms, like shamanism, kind of been destroyed. It's really too bad. Yeah, maybe I'll check that book out. Oh, boy. Ah. Okay, let's see. Do we save this? That's good. By the way, Jack, just saw Sinners. Oh my God, isn't it good? Isn't it good? What'd you think of the point where like fucking Jimi Hendrix / Bootsy Collins shows up? I'm not sure. I've only seen the movie once, so I'm not exactly sure which one it's supposed to be. But I'm like, no, that is either Jimi Hendrix or Bootsy Collins. I mean, he definitely, it felt like he was definitely representing funk, Yeah, yeah. A lot of Filipinos converted to Protestantism because of all that jazz, But you think it's Rick James? Oh, could be. Well, someone said it, so now we at least gotta fucking do this a little bit.
She's a very kinky girl, the kind you don't take home to mother. She will never let your spirits down
If you get her off the street.
She likes the boys in the band. She says that I'm
I'm a all-time favorite.
when I make my move to her room, it's the right time. She's never hard to please. Oh no, that girl is pretty wild. No, the girl's a super freak. The
every time we meet.
She's alright. She's alright. That girl's alright
With me. Yeah. All right. It's like I can only decolonize this, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. That's why you want the help of the ancestors, you know. Is Bootsy still alive? Fuck yeah, Bootsy's still alive. Bootzilla Baba's still around. He still does shit. It's Bootsy, baby. Yeah, he put out a video like last year, I think, with this girl Phantasma. Whoops.
Welcome to the club. So I hear your name is Phantasm.
And he's still alive.
To be a funketeer. Well, why don't you make your way to the stage? Toby, what's the
Password.
I'm
With the band. Oh, that's right. I knew, Bobby.
How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get?
Introducing.
This hip-hop lollipop. Funketeers, let's funk with this.
Ready or not, here we come, and we gon' make your mother shake it, cause it's nothing but the funk in my hip bone, connected to my thigh bone. Got funketeers, and it's a family like Slidestone. Is D with us? Yeah, lady with us. Yeah, so it's us. See that missus, blowing kisses to your listeners. Bootsy Baba, Sherman Salas, Mr. Wooten, more diffusion. We box saxophone, call it music evolution. Change, strange, this, that, full rap, because it is the
Still got that Bootsy Collins guitar work going.
Oh, you all that I need, baby. How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this.
I'm getting ready for the jam, getting ready to bam. I'm the crazy lady Baba, call me Tasma with the glam. This time, just strike the racket, cause we ready to take off. You gotta put it in the pocket, we gon' knock it off the cuff. Yes, I'm a bullshit guy, set to my short still size. Then I'm gonna spread the love like butter, chocolate on the rise. Guess what? I'm winning a lot, got even more to give. So all your funkers in cause we be funkin' up the street.
Come over here, get out your chair. Funk flying everywhere. Introducing you, baby. How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers, let's funk with this. Oh, you all that I need, baby.
Yeah. Bootsy still got it. You know?
Should I, baby?
She's Bootzilla, Baba.
How much you got? How much you gon' get? How much you gon' get? How much you got? How much you gon' get?
How much you got? How much you gon' get?
How much you got? How much you gon' get?
How much you got?
How much you got? How much you gon' get? Funketeers,
In fact, I think even George Clinton is still around. Let me double. Let's see. I can't imagine George Clinton dying and me not knowing. Yeah. George Clinton's totally still around. You know, Let's see if I can. In fact, yeah, here we go. Want to hear some George Clinton? Something a little recent? I mean, it's 10 years old at this point, but I mean. George Clinton.
She's an evil enchantress and she does evil dances. And if you look deep in her eyes, she will put you in trances. Then what will she do? She'll mix up an evil brew. Then she'll gobble you up in a big tasty stew. So, watch out.
George Clinton, everybody. Whoop, no, don't need that.
Hey, go, party over here.
Yeah. I'm not a fighter, but I'm a lover. Yeah. This kid named Money, he was always broke. He stepped down with my woman, and that ain't no joke. She meant the world to me, and there was no mystery. But when it got down to it, I had to funk him to his knees.
Night, Flashman. Oh my God, this Buckethead.
Tricks
All right, let me show you something. Remember She Blinded Me with Science? Well, I'm not playing that song. It's a different song by the same guy that got George Clinton in it. It's about dropping acid. There's a little dirty guy riding a bicycle like Dr. Albert Hoffman. And here's George Clinton back in the 80s. All right, take care, Inferno.
Late one night, a happy Martian with nothing to do made that perfect pleasure drug and he called it the cube. A cube so potent in a stroke it turned nightmares to dreams. He flew right past that planet Earth and he gave it to me. Then he said, "May the cube be with you." Hey, Lord, and your father.
I'm pretty sure this song is literally about George Clinton getting Thomas Dolby high on acid.
To spend an evening with Marilyn Monroe, share a cell with Jimmy Cagney or Paris with Brando, take it out on Maggie Thatcher or Ronnie Reagan. You see, Cube comes by the act, so why not have fun? Yeah. May the Cube be with you. May the Cube be with you. And your father too.
I would totally start an acid sequence in a movie with this song. It's called May the Cube Be With You. Yeah, this is Aliens Ate My Buick, the album that this is on. It's called Aliens Ate My Buick. Yeah, fucking George Clinton comes on in like Doctor Who and fucking
Bootsy Collins was like a funk maestro with his bass in Parliament Funkadelic. He's a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, inducted in 1997 with 15 other members of Parliament Funkadelic. 2020, Rolling Stone magazine ranked Collins number 4.
All right, all that's true, but I'm sorry that the voice is not funky enough to properly be talking about Boots Collins. Yeah, the Flat Earth and the yeah, those are the two albums most people have: are Golden Age of Wireless and the Flat Earth. Yeah, 80s and 80s are pretty wild. Oh, boy. Let's see. God damn it. I forgot the name of the damn thing. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just play this one.
Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
Attention on deck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Peevil.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have uh-oh. Ah, Sputnik Funk. All right, let's. Okay. I'm thinking it's probably about that
Who
time.
is Armor? Armor, who's
something I don't care about. I think it is about time. Yeah, that was C-Lab 2021. Remember that shit? Remember that shit? When lowbrow and low production quality animation was king. Good times, good times. So I think it's about time for me to get off the airwaves for now. I will see you all later. Letting y'all know that I love y'all very much. Ave Stas Disco Inferno, and Satan loves you very much as well. So until next time, I'll see y'all later. Same rough bat times, same bat channel. Good night.